Hey everybody, welcome back to Rathlin Island, day 7 of late spring. And I want to draw your attention to our bank account. As you can see, we are now over the $1 million mark. The way we got that is we took our produce across to the Sound this morning and sold that off. Then we sold 4 pallets of homogenized milk and 4 pallets of um, cheese from the dairy. At least I think it's cheese. Maybe they make butter. Yep, cheese. So we sold that also. And then I think we took took 10 pallets of wool down to the wool dealer because we had a price of $5,000 or so for our wool pallets. So that would have been $10,000 per wool pallet. So we scored over $100,000 on that one. And we're just here now, fueling up our tractor so that we can get to seeding some more. I decided we'd go ahead and see about putting some soybeans in our fields. Went ahead and planted field 8 in soybeans. We're going to put soybeans in field 25 too while we're at it. And if you look at the forecast, the reason we're going to go ahead and do that now is that, well, we got rain on the forecast for today. We got rain on the forecast for tomorrow. And then that leaves, then we have 6 days of sunshine. And I'm basically going to use, hopefully, those 6 days of sunshine to work on our hay and get that all up and put away. Let's see. Kind of a tight squeeze with this particular seeder. Alright. And the reason I wanted to do the seeding today versus later is, one, because of the hay. I want to focus once summer hits to be working on the hay and not planting any of our crops anymore. And two, because let's take a look here. If we look at our ground moisture, we are down to 22%. And as a byproduct of that, we walk up here to our tractor. You can see the tractor is causing light compaction at this point. Now, this thing has been toggling between light and no compaction while we've been planting over on field 8. So basically, I guess we're kind of at that tipping point where the ground is almost dry enough to support the load of these tractors without causing compaction. So go ahead and got a course here set up for when we planted this with wheat. Let's go ahead and get where we can start. And go ahead and get started on that. Let's toggle over to the soil compaction and see how we're doing here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hop off the tractor here and let our helper go ahead and take care of planting this field. Now we're going to start fertilizing our grass. We're going to start spraying grass with herbicide and everything to help promote it to a good output on the next form of the next growth stage. Let's go ahead and look at here. So we have the compaction going on, and you can see we had a little bit of compaction here at the very start, but we're not getting any compaction here. We had kind of spotty compaction here and there and everywhere here on field 8. But mostly when we get the compaction is we get it when let's jump out and see. Now we're causing no compaction. We get it when the tractor lifts the seeder up, but we don't have any when seeder is engaged and running. So I guess that's, like I said, right there on the tipping point with respect to the amount of weight that the tractor has versus the weight of the tractor with something attached to it. Let's go over here and kind of show the same thing with respect to our smaller T6 with the fertilizer spray equipment. See, we got these squished tires. We have got all the air out of the tires we can get, and we are doing light compaction at this point. Let's unhook our sprayers. And now that we don't have that weight, now we are at 0 compaction on our tractor. If we drove this without any of the sprayers on, it would cause no compaction. But the act of hooking up our spray stuff to the tractor does weigh it down enough where it is causing low compaction, or at least it was at 25%. Earlier today when I was setting this up, it was 25% ground moisture, and now it is at 22%. And it's saying no, well, now it's saying light. See, we're right there on that cusp. So with rain coming, I don't want to risk it. Ground is going to get damper with the rain, and will it dry out? Will it get below 20% before summer? I don't really know, but I go ahead and get to spraying, and we should have minimal effect with our grass fields and compaction because of the boom width on this. Got a nice lovely field of canola there. Field down where we had the potatoes. Got a nice stand of canola also. So looking forward to that harvest coming in at some point over maybe late spring. I don't know when the canola is going to come in to harvest. Maybe we'll check that out once we're done spraying the field here. If you look below, let's see if I can't zoom in. I can't get any closer than that. If you look down there, you can see a thin line of compaction on our sprayer around the grass field. And at some point, as we spray off our liquid, we will get to that point again where we do not cause any compaction on the ground with 22% moisture. So remember, the compaction is based on not only the weight of the implement and vehicle, the contact patch of the tire. So the lower the pressure, the more the contact patch, like the surface area, and therefore the less pressure per square inch or a square centimeter, depending on how you measure things, is put on the ground. So at some point you get to a point where the pressure is light enough that you're not compressing the ground any. And then it's also the moisture percentage of the ground. So how moist is the ground? How soft is it? The drier the ground, the harder it would be, the less prone it would be to a state of compaction. So if you play on a map where you have a long period of drought without rain, then you could probably do a fair bit of field work without compressing the ground too much. But if you are playing on a map where you have a lot of rain, then it might be hard to do anything in the field without without causing some compaction to go on. So I think we've pretty much got this taken care of. Close that up. Let's look at the seasons menu. Looks like canola will come in late summer. Be able to harvest canola until late summer at the earliest. Are just now able to put in our soybeans. Now we're not at 50 degrees yet, but I'm kind of banking on the temperatures here, with a high tomorrow of 57 and a high Thursday of 69, and basically into Tuesday a high of 79. I'm banking on that ground temps to come up to the point where we'll be over 50 degrees, hopefully, in ground temperature before summertime. Let's head on out. You can see there isn't too much pink on field 25 at this point. Once he starts picking up the planter or the seeder and making turns, you should start seeing some pink show up for there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do field 24 here. So it should be pretty soon that we maybe get our next little bit of information out of Giants on FS17. I think just this week, or maybe next week. They've got FarmCon coming up, and I expect that might be the first time that we get to see some actual maybe gameplay footage. Maybe. It's not something that has been definitely stated will happen. There you can see where we've driven tractor there. It's not been stated that that will be guaranteed to happen, but I think it's a pretty good chance of seeing gameplay footage at FarmCon. There was a tweet that went out a few weeks ago about the chance, what basically the way it read, looked like you would have your first opportunity to play a demo, or basically play FS17 at GameCon in August. So that is in Germany. So for those lucky enough to be able to travel to that event, you may have the opportunity of actually getting some gameplay time on FS17. So we'll definitely be able to see play footage out of that event. Definitely be somebody taking video and posting that. Isn't Giants themselves, it's going to be somebody else. So we'll definitely be able to see gameplay footage come August. But I'm hoping and banking that we would be able to see some gameplay footage as early as this month, in a week or so when FarmCon happens. So at this point, I'm recording this a little bit in advance, so if there's been any new news that's come out since the probably the third week of June, I'm not going to be aware of that at this point. Sorry about that, guys. Had to attend to something with my my youngest. So that's just what we're gonna. That's all. This is all we're gonna do today. But to close out the day, we're either going to spray all of our fields with fertilizer, or spray as many as we can until the rain stops us. Because we want to get these up to a. Let's check the. Oh. Need to be on that screen, but we need to change it over to show fertilization and not compaction. See these change in deep blue. That here in a minute. Turn. See, now we have gotten full fertilization there, full fertilization there. So we're going to go ahead and fertilize 1, 2, 3, 7, 19, and 20. I need to come in here at some point and put some slurry or digestate down on field 8 and on field 25. Hope you guys are still enjoying the series here, and hope you're enjoying the startup of Hofbergman. Should have started that one up by now, and it's going to be an interesting gameplay, I think. The production aspect tied to the economy aspect, using the MP management app. Hoping to use the new version that is at this point soon to be released. It's not released yet, but I did get a hold of advanced copy to make use of. So I hope we're using that. At this point, it's still getting developed and still getting worked on. There's a few bugs that need to be tweaked out on it, but like I said, by the time we get around to gameplay, I hope a bulk of the bugs are figured out. Just slide right on in with the new map, with the new app. Okay. So it looks like he's making his up and down passes now. So once we get done this little patch here. Fertilize there. So let's turn this back on. See our nice spiral pattern here. And you can see here where he's making his up and downs. That's where we're starting to get some compaction as he lifts the seeder and is making his runs up and down the field. All right, let's head on over. Next field. Still at light compaction. I don't know if we've got spray in the front or the rear at this point. Or which tank we have spray in. Guess we'll figure it out here in a moment. Okay, Is anyone else out there playing and trying out the compaction mod? Since it is a work in progress, and since we are recording a bit in advance, I suspect some of the things, potential issues that we are demonstrating here may have already been corrected before this video even gets it to you guys. Because as I'm finding things or idiosyncrasies or things that I think are a little bit odd on its behavior, I'm posting those and over at the Realimus Slack site, basically to let them know that this is what I'm seeing. I don't know if that's behavior that we should be seeing or not. Sometimes it is the behavior and sometimes it isn't the expected behavior. So it's good to have people test things beyond, the developers. So developers may be testing it in a specific way, and it's not as a result of that method of testing, maybe issues don't crop up as a result of that because of how they're doing things versus maybe how someone else might go about the task. So again, I really do like this spray add-on mod that I started using. It really does help the liquid spray go a long way. You're not wasting so much of overspray. Since we're not wasting overspray, we can save some money in the liquid fertilizer, not having to buy it or buy as much. So we're not going through too much at any one point in time. Right. Got field 3 done. 2 is down this access road. Bumpy, oh man, bumpy road. I think if we were in the tractor, we would have banged our head on the headliner a few times there. And off we go again. So tonight I'm going to do my first kind of diversion away from Farm Sim and from iRacing to put something else on the channel. Up to this point, the channel's been pretty much exclusive Farm Sim, with the in the past some occasional iRacing videos, but that's about where it's been. So tonight we're going to do a live stream of something completely different, and I'm curious on how well that goes, how well you all, the audience, are receiving that, and are maybe either interested or disinterested in this idea. But basically it's going to be me maybe on a weekly basis, maybe every Sunday night or some other night that we might end up moving it to. Basically just trying out random things on Steam and seeing what we think of them, getting a little bit of game diversity to the channel. Just experiment with some things. Not that I'm feeling that I'm anywhere close to Farm Sim burnout or anything. Just You know, sometimes you sit down to do something and you're like, well, I don't really feel like doing farm sim today, and I don't really feel like driving a truck with ATS. So, you know, what else is there to do? This will give us some variety. And heck, we might find something else we like and want to bring it to the channel full time. Never know. Oh. Oh. How well it's going to be received, but hopefully you all are liking it. You'll probably definitely let me know in the comments what you think. Guys, we're going to go ahead and I guess close on out here. You know, we're just spraying. Nothing else is going on today that we're going to include in today's video. I want to thank you guys for coming out and watching. I hope you are still enjoying the series. Obviously, if you are not enjoying the series, probably aren't watching it anymore. So, you know, there's that, of course. I've not been really paying attention to see what the watch numbers are, or the view counts are, series, to see if the view counts are dropping off. And really, to be quite honest, I don't really care if the view counts drop off. I'm going to continue to put out videos on this particular map until I feel the the map is done, or at least feel that I'm done providing content on the map. Still enjoying the map. Still enjoying some of the challenges that it provides, given the fact that you have to use a ferry to go across sound constantly to pretty much do almost anything. Enjoying the 830 sheep we've got right now, and we've got 2 1/3 days left in spring for the sheep to reproduce. Let's just see, how quick are we getting them now? Still 1 sheep every hour and 20 minutes, so 24 hours in a day. Basically getting about, what, 20 sheep a day, maybe? So, we should end up with 870 sheep, maybe, by the end of spring, at this rate. I think just last spring, you know, when we started with 600 sheep. To have 870 sheep over the course of 2 years is pretty crazy, I'm thinking. Let's check and see how that compaction's going on that other field. Not too bad. This is definitely where he's turning around, and he's turning around here. So he's going to start making some on these islands. So, also encourage you guys to go check out the folks in my description. I haven't mentioned them for a while, but they all put out really cool content and various things. Some of them have been lucky and fortunate enough to have access to Lone Oak in early access as media partners to provide everybody a sneak peek of Lone Oak. Now, at this point, as of the recording of this, Lone Oak is still not out, but I seriously expect it would be out by the time this video hits the airwaves. And I'm interested to know what you guys think of Lone Oak. I have been, as I've said in the past few videos, I've been avoiding Lone Oak videos just so that I don't taint my own impressions of it with what others are saying, or with other how others are presenting the map. just so that when I do get a chance to see the map for the first time, I'll be able to come up with my own thoughts and my own ideas, and not feel that I'm just reiterating what someone else has already said. There will still be some amount of that going on, reiteration and repeating what other people say, because there's only so many original ideas out there when describing something. But still, want to oops. I don't want it to end up basically being, oh, that's, repeating exactly what someone else said in that video. Go ahead and check them out, and until next time, happy farming.